Hi, I'm Laura. Welcome to my homestead kitchen. Today I want to show you how I'm going to cook up some fresh goose meat. So we just seen these 2 geese in the pond and Ed went out and shot them. So I'm making an impromptu supper. His favorite way to cook red meat. So you could use this recipe with beef or venison or moose or anything like that. It's super easy and simple. Not my typical recipe, because we're gonna use some canned soup. So it's not completely homemade, but it's like Ed's favorite way to eat this. So it's really easy and we're gonna do it up in the oven. Definitely recommend using a slow cooker for this, but since we're off grid here, that uses too much power for such a long period of time. So I'm just gonna throw it in the oven on low. So I'm gonna get this goose meat washed up. It's still warm and full of feathers. So I'll get this washed up and then I'll show you what to do next. So I have a cast iron Dutch oven here. You could use any type of pot that's oven safe and then just has a lid. Or if you're using your crock pot or slow cooker, just use a different pan to pre-fry your meat. You're gonna brown it. So I'm just gonna turn this on high and get it preheating while I cut some of this goose meat up. So we have our goose legs. Those I'm not gonna cut up. I'm just gonna leave them like that and put them in the pot. And then our goose breasts, I'm gonna cut it cross grain. So I'm gonna go this way. The grain is mostly going this way and cut it this way. But it's not a super big deal if you don't know what your meat is, because this is gonna cook low and slow all day long, so it's gonna get tender no matter what, I promise. So I'm just gonna make some slices. You kind of want like steaks. You could even like cube this if you wanted to. Whatever kind of meat size you would like to do, that is good. So I'm kind of doing 1/2 inch slices down this goose breast, and I'm gonna save my tenderloins. On your goose breast, it's kind of like a chicken breast where you have this piece that is the tenderloin, and I'm just gonna fry those up for Ed and I for lunch. Okay, so I turned my pan down now, and I'm just gonna put in a few tablespoons of butter and get this meat browning. I'm gonna start with these goose legs because they're pretty big. And then I diced up 2 onions. So I'm gonna put that in there too. I'll just do 1/2 right now and then 1/2 when I do that other meat. If your family's not a big fan of onions, you could just leave those out, that's fine. So we're just gonna let that brown on both sides, and we're gonna take it out and brown this stuff too. While that's browning, I'm just gonna season that with salt and pepper. So it just takes a couple minutes, and then we're gonna turn these over. Okay, I'm just gonna take these out, set them aside in this other pan I have just sitting here, and get these other pieces browning. You're not wanting to cook the meat through. You're just trying to get it browned before you put it in the sauce. This is definitely like a comfort meal. So the gravy and meat that this makes will serve over mashed potatoes. Definitely like a wintry, fall, warm comfort meal. So hit these with salt and pepper again. And we'll put the rest of these onions in. Okay, now that these are kind of browned, I'm just gonna remove them so that we can just mix our gravy stuff together, and then we'll put everything back in. So they have released some juice. So we have 2 cans of mushroom soup mix. And we'll add our 2 cans of tomato soup. If I'm looking for like brownie points from Ed, this is what I make. Okay, so we're gonna put in a few tablespoons of Worcestershire sauce. The last ingredient we'll add is just a few teaspoons of dry mustard. And then we'll just give that a stir. So now we will just add our meat back in and give it a stir before we put it in the oven. Now you just want to stir this around to get that gravy coating all of your meat, so it cooks your meat and gets it nice and tender in that liquid. My pot is actually pretty full. Okay, that's all we're gonna do to that. We're gonna put our lid on and get it into our oven. I'm gonna cook it at 300 for like kind of all day, so until supper time. It's lunchtime now, so a good like 4 to 5 hours it's gonna cook in there. Or if you wanna just cook it in your crock pot for 4 hours on high, that would work too. Okay, so I'm gonna cook up this goose meat that I have sliced thin here for lunch. Just season that and cook it up with some butter and seasoning. Fry it in my cast iron pan. That is super good when it's fresh like that. Super tender and nice. So when you cook it thin against the grain, or just cook those tenderloins. So we'll see you later at supper time when I pull this out of the oven. So supper is ready. So I'm just gonna show you what we have going on here. Everyone's anxiously awaiting. So I'm gonna just put some mashed potatoes and get out some of this meat and show you that. This is what the gravy looks like now. It smells super good in here. So this meat, you can just use your fork and cut that. It's nice and tender. Taste tester, Ed. Okay.
Yep, it's good. So guys, if you don't know how to cook goose, this is like fantastic. Like you can just bite into that no problem at all.
Yeah, probably one of the best like entry recipes into goose cooking.
Yeah, it's fantastic. Can't wait to do that.
Super good. Okay, don't forget to like and subscribe, and we'll see you again next time.
Stuff we got.